agreed to do this about 24 hours ago. We try to be organized, but it doesn't always work. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little about myself and about the EP, and then we'll have a listen to the EP. But first, actually, I wanted to ask if we can do a show of hands as to how many people it's their first time here at 90mm. Wow, it's loads. It's like 80%. Cool. Well, I'm really thankful to be able to do this event here. 90mm has only been around for about a year, if I'm correct. And in my opinion, it's already made an amazing mark on Berlin's art scene. So before we continue, I'm just going to pass the microphone to Emma, who's going to tell you a little bit about 90mm. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Tum Ásh, and thank you for putting on this incredible night. Hello, everyone, and yeah, welcome. It's so exciting to have so many new people in the space. So I'm just going to tell you what you've just become a member of. So yeah, this is 90mm. My name is Emma. I'm one of the people that runs the space, and this is the clubhouse of the Verein, the association, the Palace Collective. So it's an art collective that has a yearly residency in Poland, and yeah, that's kind of who's behind this space. And yeah, as I said, it's a temporary space. We won't have it forever. Demolition date is set for March next year, so come back. Yeah, I think it's something quite special that we've got going on here. Not often that you get a space really like right in the center of Berlin where you have so much freedom as we have here. And there's so much stuff going on. We have events like every weekend, also through the week. We have music performances, dance, yeah, lots of like cross-disciplinary, we call it. Lots of things basically that you can't quite put a name to. So yeah, please do come back. And as well as showcasing different types of art, we also want to give opportunities for people to get as creative as they can, whether you call yourself an artist or not. So we have movement classes, we've got ceramics, we just finished a little art school project, which was very fun. It was like 5 weeks of loads of different like classes and workshops and things going on. And that was great, so we're going to do it again in July. And yeah, if you really love the space, if you're totally captured by it and you want to be here more, then everything that we do here would not be possible without all of the volunteers that come and help us to fix up the building, to water the garden, to build the lovely bleachers that you're all sitting on. So yeah, if you want to get involved, then you very much can. Everything about the space, about what's happening here is can be found on our Telegram channel. So there's a QR code, I think, at the door and also in the kitchen and some other spaces around. And you're also very welcome to come and chat to me afterwards. And yeah, one last thing I would say is that we try and do things differently here. So we're a community that's built on care, on respect, on love. And yeah, we try and spread that as much as possible. So yeah, please take care of each other, be kind to each other, chat to each other. You're all connected by great music taste, talented friends, both. So yeah, community literally makes you live longer. So please, make some friends and enjoy the session and hope to see you again soon. Why is it called 90mm? It's called 90mm because the land that we are on right now is worth 90 million euros. So, yeah, living cheap on expensive land. Yeah, cool. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Emma. And thank you, 90mm again. Right, so try to make this quick because we still have a lot to go through. So I'm Tum Ásh, I'm Portuguese. There's one Portuguese person here, right? Close enough. And I'm primarily a drummer, but I'm also a percussionist, composer, producer, And I've also worked as music director with like theater and dance. And anyway, in 2021, I moved to Berlin with the, well, I wanted to move to Berlin, and one of my main goals when I got here was to form a band. So I started getting in contact with musicians and having jam sessions. And I had physical jam sessions, then I also had like recording jam sessions where, for example, I went home and recorded a bunch of percussion and then sent it to somebody else, and then they recorded a bunch of guitars and then I sent it to somebody else, etc. All in the search of a band. But then at some point I realized that what I was doing already, I was really enjoying, and that it could eventually become an EP. And that's basically the birth of the idea of PATCHWERK. So fast forward 2 years later, somehow 2 years went by, and I finished PATCHWERK after collaborating with a total of 9 other artists. So it was 8 musicians, a visual artist, and an engineer. And so that's what we're going to be listening to today. Thank you. Anyway, so I spent 2 years basically producing this, which involved a lot of, for all of us, sitting at home and recording and mixing, sometimes alone, sometimes with the other musicians. And I really wanted to do a launch party of some kind. One of the reasons was to get out of the house and actually be in the same room as other people, because that's part of the joy of making music. And the idea of a launch party came up. But then I realized, well, I think I already knew this, that it would be really difficult to perform PATCHWERK because every song has different musicians, every song has different instruments as well. So almost immediately I just discarded the idea. I was like, I can't perform it. It would just be, the logistics already hurt my brain. So that's where the listening session idea came up. And I also thought it's a cool way to share with you one of my favorite hobbies, which is to just put on an album I really like, sit down, and listen to it. That's all you need. And from talking to other people, I was kind of surprised at how not many people do this anymore. It really seems not that common. And I also realized how accessible recorded music has become, because we can listen to anything we want at any point, while we're cooking, while in the shower, while running, etc. And I realized that recorded music has become very cheap. We pay very little money for it, but we also pay very little attention to it. Like very, very rarely do we actually pay attention to it. It's just kind of running around in the background. So that was another reason to do this listening session idea. Now, when you listen to music with attention, it of course makes a big difference what sound system you use. Now, when I wanted to do this launch party at 90mm, I knew 90mm had a good sound system. But then last week I met the sound engineer who is doing the sound tonight. And it turns out this sound engineer, his name is John Broback, actually designed and made these, which is really cool. And he's the sound engineer. Yeah, exactly. Please. And yeah, I'm so happy that he's doing the sound tonight. By the way, he's been here since noon, working so hard. Awesome. But anyway, I'm going to pass the microphone very briefly to John Broback, who's going to tell you a little bit about this amazing sound system that we're using the whole night. Yeah, so can you please give it up for John?
Hey, so I'll just say a few quick words about it and try not to get too nerdy. I'll start with the bass boxes, the subs. Those are actually not my design. Or wait, I'll rewind a little bit. So I ended up bringing other systems that I'd built to 90mm a few times and got to know Joe and Alfie, and they were like, hey, could you help us build a sound system? And I thought, okay, that sounds really fun. I like the space. it's a really big room, so we could build something with few compromises for size, and it seemed like a fun project, so we decided to collaborate on it, all pitch in equally for the materials, and kind of decide on the parts of it and how we would build it together. So we decided on a subwoofer design by a designer named Josh Rickey, who works out of the US, and I've been following his work for a while. It's on a forum called Database. I've been really connected with and really appreciate this online forum of speaker designers. It's a lot of collaborative designs. People post ideas and say, hey, how does this look? And other people help them refine it. So yeah, this was from a forum. They're really amazing subs. We chose them because they go really low and they have a really nice growl to the bass without being too colored like you would for a reggae sound system. They're really versatile. I really like them. Then get to the mid-range, and this is kind of my baby. These mid-range horns. They pick up from where the subs leave off at about 100 hertz and play to 1,000 hertz. So like the feeling in your chest and your top of the chest kick bass up to the middle of my vocal range. And we decided to use a horn because it needed to get loud in this room, it needs to sound big, and we didn't want to put a lot of money into it. So you can get a lot of sound out of a single speaker that way. The horn works kind of like a trumpet or a saxophone. So the speaker is like the lips going, and the rest is the trumpet. It's kind of, it allows the speaker to interface more efficiently with the air around it, because the air is large and squishy and soft, and the speaker is small and rigid and hard, and it's difficult to set a large squishy mass into motion with a small piston. The horn helps with that, and it also is very low distortion and can sound very realistic. But yeah, anyway, a lot of prototyping went into this, simulated it with software, and then just started to build it. I think the first prototype is laying around here somewhere. We use it as a keyboard stand. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. Definitely learned a lot in the process. And then the high frequencies, they come from theater, like cinema speakers from the 1940s and 50s. And we had them modified at a machine shop so that they would accept a modern high frequency speaker. And I think they sound really good with the modern drivers. It's kind of a vintage hi-fi sound, but kind of a little bit different than that. And unfortunately, they beam a little bit, so they sound a lot brighter on axis, and where if you move off to the side, they sound a little duller. But the mid-range horns, I designed them to have really even dispersion, so you pretty much hear the same mid-range wherever you stand in the room, and that's one of the things I was really happy with. This is getting way too long. Thanks for listening. Glad you're enjoying this.
So nice to hear someone talk about something they're passionate about. Yes. Cool, now we're gonna get to the listening session. The EP is 15 minutes long, it's 4 tracks. I highly recommend, if you wanna actually get some kind of stereo image, if you wanna sit somewhere between the 2 pillars, then come closer, there's loads of sitting space available here in the middle still. If you sit back in the corners, it's not, yeah. Yeah, but obviously sit wherever you want. Do you guys need time to rearrange, or should we just hit it off? We got some people moving around. We'll wait a little bit. Alith is correct. You are such, like, so quiet. It's crazy. Almost there. Oh, I was going to say one more thing. Yeah, I just invite you to listen more 3D. So really listen with like left and right, up and down, forward and backwards. And I really invite you to also do this with other albums that you really like, because artists go through really painful energy and time to create soundscapes for you. So when you listen on just a Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen, it doesn't really work. But I promise if you do this with albums that you really like, there's a lot more there waiting for you. Yeah, thank you. All we need to do is to pay attention. Yeah. So let's do it.
Back to the other side of the sun.
You think I'm special, think I'm something so real. Your beauty is restored.
Thank you. We thought now would be nice to have a really, we're going to keep it short because we still have Aliénore's set to go. But we're going to have a quick Q&A with me and all the other artists who are here, who are involved in DP. Okay, so can I please give a warm welcome to the stage to, actually they're going to introduce themselves in a second. But yeah, if you're here and you collaborate on the EP, come on over, please. Where are you? I swear they're here. There is 5 of us here tonight, but yeah, again, on the EP it was actually 10. So, actually, while they're setting up, I'm going to introduce the people who are not here, which is Fritz. He played guitar on track 4 and synthesizers and guitar on track 3, and he's currently traveling in Japan. We have Gnar Boss, who played guitar and bass on track 1. He moved to New York City shortly after contributing, very Berlin style. And we have Melly Beans, who contributed synthesizers to track 3 and track 4, and also, she's somewhere in Thailand or something like that. No, it was Australia. And Hernie Harmon, who did the artwork, she's also part of the Cloud Palace community, and John Tornblom, who did the mastering. And do you guys want to introduce yourselves and what you contributed? Yeah.
Hello.
Elle, do you want to go?
Yes, I'm Elle. Aliénore is my stage name. And I did songwriting and vocals on the last track, Kin.
My name is Naima. My stage name is Sānt. I co-wrote, sang, and produced track number 2.
I'm Alex Peppler. I sang on the first track.
I'm Dominic. I play guitar on the second track, just a little bit, but still wow, to be part of this.
Yeah, please give it up to them. Thank you. Basically, do you have any questions? We have one at the back. I can't see who you are.
My name is Preston. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Preston.
Hi. How's like the matching process when you're? So do you make a song and then you think, oh, this artist would sound really good on it, or like what is the process to matching different musicians with each track?
It depended on the track. So, for example, with Naima, she was one of the first ones, and I sent her about 4 or 5 sketches that I had, like drafts, and I think Naima picked her favorite. But then by the time we got to Peppler, he was the last edition, I think I had 1 draft. So it was really lucky that he liked it. And then with Dominic, I used to live with Dominic, so I just showed him the track I was doing with Naima, and he said something about an acoustic guitar, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's record it. And with Elle, it was a bit similar to Naima. Yeah, so sometimes I think it was about giving them choice and then they choose. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? We can. Yo, what's up, Joe? Yes, Joe.
When is the album?
Oh, it was. Oh, when is the album?
When's the full length? When's the LP?
I need to sleep first.
Would you do another?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Sorry?
Any artists lined up for that one?
Do I have the artist? Sorry?
Do you have artists lined up?
Do I have artists lined up for this? Maybe some of these guys again. Maybe you as well. Nira almost featured on this EP, but we didn't get around to finishing her song. Yeah. Do you have any questions for them specifically? Yes.
The stand-ups I can see. For each of the people who were just on one track, which of the other tracks would you have wanted to perform on, given the option?
I really like the last one. Like, took me to a different dimension. Sick.
Can I say two?
We can do whatever we want.
The second and the fourth.
Yeah, probably also the last one, I think, as well.
Maybe 3. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed singing on the 4th one. That was fun. But yeah, 3 would be cool as well.
Cool.
So trippy.
And maybe we have time for like maybe one more, and then we move on. Any other ones? Yeah?
How much did the singers contribute to the songs? So
Every-
how much did you actually produce it with Tum Ásh? Especially 3 and 4.
Well, for all of them,
2 and 4, sorry.
everything the musicians played, if I remember correctly, they wrote themselves. So it was, I never sent, it's not like I sent them melodies and then they added lyrics to it. It was like they wrote their parts. So it was definitely collaborative. They added a lot.
So what a question for the artists.
Sorry?
That was a question for the artists.
Not for me. I'll stop.
So how much did you write with number 4? What did you write? What was it?
I wrote, yeah, all the. I think we started with like I always start my songs with like synth pads, and then I kind of usually, yeah, I have some lyrics of some sort. This one was about, I was like lying in the sea, and I could hear these magnetic clicking sounds coming, and the lyrics kind of came from that. And then when I heard the kind of sketches, then this kind of all just in my mind made sense, and then I wrote the melody and the lyrics, and then it was kind of going backwards and forwards. We were sort of like, maybe I sent you verse 1 and 2, and then you had like other things, and then we ended up having more, like a third verse, which we didn't think we would have later on, and it wasn't like all in one go. It was kind of like backwards and forwards because it's collaborative, so we were going backwards and forwards. And then there was a bass line, and then there was guitars that came in, and then that changed a little bit, the plan and stuff. So yeah, like lots of back and forth, but it was really fun.
Yeah, I think for the song number 2, it's called Black Magic Woman. It was initially called Glee Glow, and I think it was like a 10-minute jam session that you had sent, and then I kind of cut and paste the parts that I liked, and then added some chords over it. I just got dumped, so that's what the track's about. Sorry about it. So a lot to talk about. And then yeah, I don't know, wrote the lyrics over that, and then sent it back. I think at that point it was kind of like in its form. He added like the bass, some more synths over it, more percussion, and then there was some French on it. I didn't speak French, so probably a good thing we took it off. I had no idea. I don't know what they were saying. It was my flatmate was just talking. So good call.
We had to negotiate that one.
Yeah, I like the French aesthetically, but who knows? I don't speak it. But it was Euro and chic. But yeah, and then just minor kind of tweaks after that, I would say, pretty quickly.
Yeah, for me the whole process was all new to me, because normally I write the lyrics first and then the chords, and you had like this sketch, hey, you want to do some lyrics then? I was just trying and freestyling about like being on the beach and Berlin calling me back, kind of like this crazy wild animal. And then I was just like hearing the track and then, I don't know, singing blah 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 and more words, and actually then later on I tried to make it more sophisticated, more with the head and with the mind, and then then the whole flow was gone, and we throw this away. And then I took like the first version, which is like a bit freestyle, and where I didn't know what it is about, but it was just coming back. So for me, it was whole new. Like I do all the 70s stuff, and then I don't know what this is, but it was so different, and I was thankful about doing something new. It was fun. Yeah, it was really like forth and back feedback loop, and it's really new because you don't do the whole thing by yourself, but you get like, it's like someone starts a story with a sentence, and you need to complete the sentence and the story or the picture with, and yeah, it's fun.
I didn't sing, so just played a little guitar. Yeah, we were flatmates, so we were just like hanging out. He was showing me the EP, and then like, do you want to play something on it? I just played the little lick. That's it. But I'm still glad to be a part of this. It's a really cool project.
What I like about Dominic's contribution is that I think his guitar took like an hour to record, compared to some other layers that took like 3 weeks. His took an hour and ended up being like one of the main parts of a song. Which is
like a minute.
Maybe
I never thought you would actually use it.
There you go. Sorry. Cool. Like I said, thank you. I think we should wrap it up there because we still have L set. But I have 3 more quick things to say, okay? First is, thank you so much for collaborating with me, because what's been really cool about collaborating with you is that I'm also a really big fan of all of your music. And so it's been really cool to collaborate with people which I am a fan of. So to all of you, please keep making music. Yeah. Second thing is, thank you all for being here. The audience is such an integral part of any art form, and we would not exist without you. And therefore, you are also part of the patchwork. So can you give yourselves a round of applause? Cool. And now comes the last bit. The third thing is that on that note, I'm going to talk a little bit about my grandmother. So my grandmother, she is actually quite savvy with WhatsApp. So I know. So, and she would text me all the time saying, Tum Ásh, you don't communicate with me enough. Send me pictures. And as soon as she does that, like the teenager in me just comes back to life. And is like, whatever, Grandma, like, I'm not gonna go around taking selfies to send them to you. I'm not gonna do that, sorry. But then this January, she turned 90, like 90. I don't even know what that means. So I thought, okay, if I can do one little action to make my grandma happy, so be it. I only see her like once a year. So whenever I have like group gatherings with friends and stuff, I started, okay, can we just do one group photo together so I can send it to my grandma? And and so I started doing that, and it worked, right? Like I'll send it to my grandma, she sends me back like text messages saying how happy she is, and this time all the emojis and whatever, they're like smiling faces instead of sad faces. So that was really nice. So I kept doing that. So basically, it's become a really cool way to summarize an event. So would you be up for all of us taking a group photo together? I was hoping you'd say that because it would be really awkward. Okay, so, but the thing is, I really want to take a group photo. I was really imagining like, literally like all of us like here, like on stage. Wow. Okay, like with the speakers in there as well, because they're an important part. And I was imagining like, if we can get the sound tech and the light tech and the door staff and the bar staff, would you be up for that? That's a no. Seriously, you're not up for it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, basically it's going to be really chaotic, but we're going to try it anyway. Yeah, should we do it? Yeah, cool, let's do it. So, we can't really rehearse this part of the set.
Olá, eu sou a avó do Tum Ásh. não é? Eu sou a avó do Tomás. É para vos agradecer com muito carinho por vos terem lembrado e compartilhem com o Tomás os meus 90 anos. Fico muito grata e muitos beijinhos e para o ano espero outra vez cá estarmos para participar outra vez. Mais uma vez, muitíssimo obrigada a todos. Muitos beijinhos. Muitos beijos. Estou a falar bem? Muitos. Muitos.
No, I am black magic woman. I'm back from the dead. I'm in full bloom. I am the goddess that